With a single launch from the ground, the predator turns silence into a decisive move. As the dark mouth opens wide, every path to safety suddenly narrows. Each movement is clean, precise, leaving no room for error. In the natural world, a split-second mistake is enough to shift the entire outcome. Once the advantage is secured, time becomes the true measure of survival. With nearly 4,000 species distributed worldwide, excluding polar regions and isolated islands, snakes have turned a limbless body into a supreme survival tool. From species that use venom as a decisive biological switch to masters of constriction that rely on overwhelming pressure, they assert their place as highly efficient predators. Within ecosystems, snakes serve as population regulators, acting as a quiet yet powerful balancing force. On the African savanna, a male lion moves like a commanding shadow, imposing order on every motion around him. The presence alone affirms that raw strength still holds authority across the grasslands. But in the natural world, power is not measured by size alone. It can reside within the most unassuming forms. From within the tall grass, an 8-foot shadow glides forward at an astonishing 10 miles per hour. The black mamba. The encounter unfolds in an instant, breaking the stillness of a resting king. The lion rises immediately, only to face a body lifted high, poised in a firm defensive stance. In a brief moment of contact, the rhythm of survival shifts completely for the dominant predator of the plains. Steps that were once steady begin to slow, growing heavy, as if an unseen force is tightening its grip. True to its nature, the black mamba does not linger. In this unforgiving world, true advantage does not belong to the largest, but to the one that delivers the most precise action at the decisive moment. Under the 110 degrees Fahrenheit heat radiating from the dark volcanic rocks of Fernandina Island, a new generation of marine iguanas faces one of the planet's harshest trials. These small creatures have only one path to survive, crossing a hazardous stretch of rock before being surrounded by the residents waiting patiently in the shadows. From deep crevices, racer snakes emerge like fast-moving ribbons, ready to surge at speeds of around 10 miles per hour to form a natural barrier. The moment a hatchling appears, a dramatic chase begins. Dozens of dark forms weave and close in from all directions with striking coordination. In this confined space, every fragile step of a young iguana becomes a gamble, where even a brief hesitation can end the escape attempt. Yet through extraordinary effort, the quickest individuals manage to launch themselves onto rock walls, rising up to 15 feet, where safety awaits. Here, a new life cycle begins, marked by one of the most remarkable escapes in the natural world. In the tropical rainforest, a nearly 18-foot figure moves with silent authority, the king cobra. Unlike typical predators, this ruler can raise its body up to 3 feet high, spreading its iconic hood to detect even the slightest vibrations in its surroundings. It is not just a snake. It is a commanding presence, even among its own kind. In the Western Ghats, the hunt begins after more than a month without feeding. When a rat snake unknowingly enters its strike range, and sudden reaction immediately locks onto the target. In an instant, its fangs deliver a powerful venom load. The overwhelming precision and refined reflexes leave little chance to recover. As resistance gradually fades, the king cobra begins a calm and methodical feeding process. Unable to chew, it uses a highly flexible jaw structure to guide the prey steadily into its elongated digestive tract. In the quiet of the forest, this apex predator once again affirms its dominance through a flawless natural mechanism. When finished, the ruler retreats into the shadows, continuing its solitary journey. In this domain, authority is not given. It is established through each well-timed move. In the shadowed wetlands of North America, the eastern diamondback rattlesnake appears as a master of patience. With a muscular body stretching close to 8 feet, it is a predator shaped to adapt and dominate under harsh conditions. From amphibians to small mammals, very few movements escape the keen detection of this ambush hunter. And at this moment, it is quietly tracking the path of its next meal. As it approaches the sandy edge, the snake detects a group of young alligators basking, ancient descendants of the swamp, yet still inexperienced. With remarkable control over its movement, it closes the distance in near total silence. The encounter unfolds in just about 175 milliseconds, far faster than the prey's ability to react. The action shows immediate efficiency, demonstrating the efficiency of a highly specialized predator. But in the wild, no advantage lasts forever. Even the rattlesnake must remain cautious of threats from above, such as the swift dive of a hawk, from the ground, and sometimes from fully grown alligators themselves. In these wetlands, the line between hunter and hunted can reverse in a single moment. In the humid wetlands of the southeastern United States, a dark, nearly 4-foot shadow moves quietly through the water, the Cottonmouth. Weighing around 3 pounds, it is not only a predator, but also a source of fear even among its own kind. Suddenly, an eastern diamondback rattlesnake measuring about 25 inches appears. The confrontation between two cold-blooded hunters unfolds in intense silence. The rattlesnake attempts to warn with its distinctive rattle, but against an opponent with thick skin and a natural resistance to certain biological effects, those signals seem ineffective. Using muscular strength and a jaw structure capable of opening up to 180 degrees, the Cottonmouth applies a decisive form of control. There is no room for hesitation, as the larger animal quickly takes command through instinct. The natural order is reinforced once again, concluding another cycle of selection in the wild. Under the intense heat of the Arizona desert, a quiet struggle for dominance unfolds. The kingsnake, bearing its title not only for presence but also for its tendency to pursue its own kind, has found a target. Its opponent is a western patch-nosed snake, measuring close to 3 feet, nearly equal in size to the hunter itself. The encounter erupts in a swirl of sand and dust. The kingsnake uses remarkable muscular strength to apply its signature constriction, generating pressure far beyond the prey's tolerance, estimated at around 30 pounds per square inch. Although the patch-nosed snake resists with direct bites, the kingsnake's thick scales and controlling instinct remain unshaken. As resistance gradually weakens, the kingsnake begins a calm and methodical feeding process. With a highly flexible jaw capable of wide expansion, it coordinates its jaw muscles through a highly specialized swallowing sequence. Even when facing species with complex biological defenses, such as rattlesnakes, the kingsnake maintains control through its ability to neutralize certain natural compounds from its opponent. Within Arizona's ecosystem, precision and control have made this reptile an important regulating force. In the natural world, this reflects the ongoing flow of energy, where each encounter contributes to maintaining a stable balance across populations. Hidden among the dry thickets of the savanna, an approximately 8-foot snouted cobra patiently sets the stage for survival. Under the 100 degrees Fahrenheit heat, its dark scales become nearly invisible, creating a quiet but constant threat. This is not just a predator. It is a master of chemical defense, capable of delivering up to 0.1 ounces of neurotoxin in a single activation. When it detects a monitor lizard moving along a dusty trail, the cobra uses a refined bite and release strategy instead of wasting energy in a prolonged struggle. Rapid strikes deliver the toxin directly into the target, quickly reducing the opponent's ability to respond. The monitor lizard struggles forward, but each step grows heavier under the spreading effects of the venom. Once resistance has fully faded, the ruler of the brush quietly moves in to claim the result of a perfectly executed pursuit. In this unforgiving world, patience is the ultimate weapon, and time always favors the one that carries the more powerful venom. Each pursuit is a test of endurance, instinct, and a pack formation that operates with near-perfect coordination. In that sun-scorched land, even a single moment of delay can tilt the balance entirely to the other side. What has turned this small pack hunter into a constant source of tension across the savanna? Beneath the shade of acacia trees, the leopard appears like an uncrowned ruler. With a streamlined body of about 130 pounds, it relies entirely on solitary instinct rather than the strength of a pack. Yet on the savanna, individual authority is always tested by numbers. Warriors that never act alone, the African wild dogs. When a prey animal has just been brought down, the result often becomes a signal that attracts opportunists. A single wild dog can sometimes be driven away with ease, but that is often only the beginning. Within minutes, short contact calls echo across the grassland, and the pack quickly forms pressure from several directions. Running at speeds close to 37 miles per hour, they force the leopard to abandon its meal in favor of survival. From a high branch, it can only watch as the meal slips beyond its control. The tension grows even greater when a leopard wanders too close to a denning area. To protect the next generation, the wild dogs respond immediately with coordinated surges of pressure. In such moments, climbing ability becomes the final escape, allowing the leopard to move beyond the reach of the pack. The savanna offers no permanent ownership, only opportunities that appear and disappear. Losing a meal can be the cost of a single moment of inattention. Spotted hyenas are rivals that African wild dogs rarely underestimate. Weighing around 140 pounds and carrying a formidable bite force of about 1,100 pounds per square inch, the hyena is known for its resilience and remarkable stamina in tense confrontations. Rather than relying on speed, it follows with patience, quietly trailing some of the savanna's most skilled hunters, while waiting for the moment to assert control. When a pack of wild dogs has just completed a pursuit through its characteristic endurance, the distant calls of hyenas often echo across the plains, signaling a strategic intrusion. Alone, a hyena can easily find itself surrounded by the agility of the pack. However, as their numbers grow, their greater body mass begins to shift the balance. Hyenas use their muscular weight to apply pressure, attempting to push rivals away from the results of their effort. Instead of descending into disorder, the wild dogs activate a multi-point coordination system, maintaining safe spacing through brief contact calls. One side relies on sheer mechanical strength, while the other depends on speed and unbroken cohesion. As a result, many confrontations do not end with a sudden, decisive outcome, but with fatigue from the side that loses its rhythm. On these plains, strength may prevail for a moment, but endurance often determines who retains the final reward. Across the sun-scorched grasslands, the impala appears as a masterpiece of evolution. With the ability to leap nearly 10 feet high and cover up to 30 feet in a single bound, it seems to challenge the limits of physics itself. Yet that graceful elegance now faces a relentless biological strategy from the African wild dog. Rather than relying on sudden bursts of speed, the pack sets a practical endurance pursuit, maintaining speeds close to 37 miles per hour across distances longer than 3 miles. They move directly through the center of the herd, using the resulting confusion to identify and separate individuals that fall outside the herd's protective rhythm. This pursuit does not depend on raw muscle alone, but on calculated rotation within the pack. When the leading runner begins to tire, another member quickly advances to take the front position, maintaining steady pressure on the isolated target. In that moment, the wild dog's greatest advantage becomes clear: uninterrupted endurance. Unlike the cooling system of the antelope, the wild dog's respiratory system is built for sustained pursuit. By the time the impala rushes toward a nearby water source in a final effort to escape, its body is already reaching its limit from heat stress before the pressure from its pursuers truly closes in. With success rates that can reach nearly 80%, the pursuit demonstrates how endurance and discipline often prevail over brief bursts of individual speed. As the water's surface grows calm again, a new cycle of energy begins, continuing the endless rhythm of nature. Across the harsh savanna, the African buffalo stands like a living fortress weighing more than 1,800 pounds. With horns capable of delivering immense force and skin nearly 1 inch thick, this giant represents a boundary few hunters dare to approach. Yet, when the dry season drains the land of resources, the wild dog pack is forced into one of the most daring gambles in its struggle for survival. With roughly 25 members, the pack does not confront the massive animal head-on. Instead, they move like a flowing system, quietly tracking the herd from a safe distance while waiting for a single moment of inattention. When a gap appears, the dogs accelerate at once, approaching from several directions to draw the target into a confusing formation. A younger buffalo weighing about 150 pounds, once separated from the protection of the herd, can quickly find itself surrounded by relentless pressure. This precise coordination allows these smaller hunters to overcome even a powerful individual of the grasslands, demonstrating how collective strategy can break through the barrier of sheer size. When calm finally returns, the savanna records another lesson in nature's strict balance. A world where persistence and unwavering discipline remain the ultimate keys to survival. On the savanna, a solitary figure appears, redefining the meaning of dominance. Weighing around 420 pounds, the lion moves like a mass of living muscle, its presence alone enough to slow the rhythm of movement across the grassland. Yet its rivals are a tireless army. When the lion moves closer, the wild dogs do not scatter, they surround it. The formation resembles a classic guerrilla strategy. When the lion turns toward one direction, pressure rises from another. The wild dogs react in fractions of a second, creating a relentless rhythm that even the weight and power of the king struggle to match. After several sharp turns and low growls of frustration, the lion recognizes that this is a contest where survival matters more than pride. It chooses to withdraw. One lesson remains. Authority may cause weaker rivals to hesitate, but discipline and coordination are what allow a united group to overcome a stronger opponent. Time is the most formidable opponent on the savanna, and the wild dog pack knows how to turn it into a weapon. This time the target is an adult oryx, a true desert warrior. It carries defensive horns stretching more than 2 feet long and a remarkably steady resolve. With an upright stance, a head lowered at the right moment, and calm composure under pressure, the oryx is among the most challenging animals to approach across the African grasslands. When the pack notices the lone grazer feeding apart from others, the dogs do not rush in. Instead, they widen their formation, shifting directions repeatedly to divide the animal's attention. Pressed into a narrow space, the oryx responds with a powerful thrust capable of forcing most predators to step back. During the first moments, the advantage belongs to the towering antelope, its upright horns forming a clear boundary that keeps the pack at a careful distance. But as the pressure continues from several directions, the rhythm of the oryx's defense begins to slow. The dogs tighten their circle from behind, moving forward and withdrawing in smooth rotation, gradually wearing down the resolve of their opponent. The outcome arrives almost as a natural conclusion. The roughly 500-pound reward is shared with remarkable order, just as the ecological cycle has long unfolded. In the end, the snake asserts its power through speed, precision, and calculated counterstrikes. It does not need overwhelming size to keep every opponent cautious. In that world, a single delayed moment can change the entire outcome. If you want to continue following encounters like these, leave a like. And do not forget to subscribe so you do not miss the next video.